Welcome to the best drivers of 2026. If you've seen any of our stuff on YouTube before, this is going to be the most comprehensive review of all the drivers on the market in 2026. If you're looking for a specific product, head to the description below. There's a timestamp for your driver down there. Welcome Lawrence, welcome James. Let's get stuck into drivers. Exciting one.
This is my favourite bit.
Oh, the big dog. Let's
Driver. Oh.
Let's start with Taylormade and let's start with James. What have we got from Taylormade this year?
Perfect. Really strong offering. Qi4D.
Yep.
So we have a core head. We've got the LS head. We've got a Max head, and we've also got a MaxLite. So going from the core head, this is the one that's going to cover really the majority of golfers. We've got 4 weights, so we've got the kind of quad weight system that we had from kind of way back when.
Yep.
So we've got 4 gram weights and 9 gram weights, and we can kind of move them around so we can really alter CG location in the head really easily. We go 8 degrees, 9 degrees, 10.5 and 12. So the 8 degree that's been added in. That's been a really good one to go for. Going into the Max head. There's been a big change with this one. So last year with QI35, we just had a big guy. It was a big head.
It was a unit on it.
It was very forgiving, but it really wanted to spin.
Yep.
So this new one, we've got a weight at the back and a weight at the front. So it's still that like larger head design. This is the kind of higher moment of inertia driver, the really easy one to use. But if a golfer who's going to be in that Max product wants a little bit less spin, we've then got a weight you can move further forward. So there's a lot more versatility with this year with this product. And then LS. LS again has had a really big shift. So instead of having weights in kind of, I suppose, like funny places in the head, we now have a weight at the back and a weight at the front. Yep. So it's either in,
simplifies it a little bit, doesn't it?
It's either in like TaylorMade's like beast mode and move all the way further forward, rocket launcher, low spin thing, or it's actually in like really quite a forgiving position.
Yeah.
We also have a MaxLite as well. So same sort of story as the Max. We don't have a movable weight with this one because we just don't need to. The whole thing's lighter.
Change in material as well.
Change material, yeah. With a change in the head construction. Mm-hmm. So the big sort of chat with this one is how can we have a really consistent spin rate over the face. So they've done really quite a lot with the kind of roll of the product.
Yeah.
So this was something that was actually kind of back from Sim back in the day.
So when you say roll, it's the bulge and roll of the face. So the curvature on the face.
That's it.
So how the face moves from bottom to top and then heel to toe, and it just allows you to get the sort of right window on missed strikes. So ultimately you still get the same effective ball flight from the physical loft, but from different positions on the face, just with how that ball comes off in relationship to the centre of gravity.
It's going to be a good product, isn't it?
Exactly.
Lawrence, who's each of those drivers for?
I think when you look at the core, I think now with that sort of slightly different shape from the QI35, it's going to be appeasing to a big volume of the customers. Then the Qi4D Max is going to hit that sort of that guy who's looking for, or player that's going to look for a little bit more forgiveness, and the light version again, just that player who's looking into the light one.
But it says in the tin, doesn't it?
The LS is just a monster. I mean, I've hit it, and when you really dial it forwards, get that weight right in the front, especially with the weight packs that we have in the fitting bays.
Yeah.
It can be a little bit too much to handle for some players, but it's address again really good aesthetics. But that core model is just going to be tough to beat, I think, especially with the new weight system in there.
Yeah,
it's been really good. Yeah,
we're going to touch on all the brands in this, but if you're going in for the Max or the MaxLite, maybe the Max more specifically, what other drivers are you likely to test? What would you compare it against?
Something like that would be like the Cobra Optim K driver.
Yeah.
That kind of higher moment of inertia. In that same sort of chat, you could maybe add in like G440K.
Yeah.
It's a slightly different thing. So the like Qi4D Max, it's a slightly more upright lie angle. So there's no draw weighting as such, but because it's a more upright product, it's a wee bit easier for that golfer to get to turn over. So if we have that golfer whose misses maybe a bit more to a right-hander, like the right-hand side, a bit slicey, that more upright lie angle is then just really quite easy to get that ball to turn over.
Definitely.
So it covers really quite a lot of different bases.
So I think if people are coming in for a Taylormade driver, they're going to try Core and then one other Taylormade model. What would you put LS against? From another manufacturer, what would LS go up against?
For me, it's mainly going to be Callaway Quantum Triple Diamond. It's one of those really big sort of low spin drivers that's out there, and it's definitely one that people need to try up against that sort of LS model.
Certainly something we'll have a conversation about. Callaway is going to be a good one, but in sticking with Taylormade, are there any tour players playing on it? I think there's been a few big names.
We're all playing them.
You've got plenty to go at, right?
Yeah,
it's been like a really good thing. Like Rory's gone into it immediately. Tommy went into it immediately.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler went into it, is maybe back out of it, and is maybe back in again. It's like hokey with him and driver.
He's allowed, right?
He's all right. Yeah, that's it. But it's had lots and lots of like tour adaptation really quickly.
Nelly Corda went straight into it and won.
Yeah. Charlie Hull's in it. Like there's so many golfers. It's been a really easy sort of switch to go in. Like going back to like the Max head, you maybe sort of compare that to something like a Cobra Optim K, something like that. Maybe a little bit of like the Ping G440 K type product there as well. It's that like higher moment of inertia, easy driver to go and play with. So there's quite a lot of things within that same sort of space.
I think Callaway's a good one to touch on next. What have Callaway got to offer? What's Quantum all about?
So they've come out with the Quantum Triple Diamond. They've got the Triple Diamond Max now. They've got the Triple Diamond Max D and the Triple Diamond. The Quantum Max D and the Quantum Max. Great drivers across the board. I think their new face technology has really brought them back into that frame of some of the best drivers on the marketplace. I've been really impressed with the Triple Diamond personally. And the Triple Diamond Max. I think the spin consistency off the product has been really good, and ultimately, it's just a very attractive product as well, right?
It's a bonny looking club.
Aye. Shelf appeal as well. The carbon sole for me really gets me going.
Yeah,
right?
the crown. I'm glad they've gone back to the gloss.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
And just like consistency of crown all the way through as well. Like Elite last year did really well. It was brilliant fun to fit with. Yeah. But Triple Diamond felt like a different product compared to like the kind of core model.
Yeah. Didn't feel a family, did it?
Not really, but this new one very much does.
Definitely.
I think with the addition of the Triple Diamond Max, you would go back a good few years, going back into like Rogue ST. It was almost like a wee kind of silent launch. There was like the Max LS head. So again, a kind of forgiving, or a more forgiving, like sort of low spin head, and that kind of went under the radar a little bit. We saw it back again in AI Smoke having a sort of Triple Diamond Max.
Justin Rose was messing around with that, wasn't he?
He's been all right.
Yeah.
He's been playing well. So it's back again, and it bridges the gap really quite nicely. That if you're a Max player or a Triple Diamond player, there's quite a bit of a stretch in between, whereas maybe some other manufacturers, the gap maybe isn't quite as much. Callaway have then filled this really quite nicely with the Triple Diamond Max, and that's done really well in the fitting base so far. This
helps us as fitters, right? Whereas when you have that broadness between the Max and their LS model, ultimately if someone's keen on a particular brand, for example, you're usually trying to bridge it either through loft or shaft or something like that, whereas now we have a head option within the Callaway range that does the best of both worlds, especially with a lot of stronger players coming down that are maybe just starting golf or higher handicap. They just need that lower spin just for their speed, but actually they need that little bit of forgiveness just to help them find the middle of the fairway.
If you're putting I think a lot of players are going to fit into that Triple Diamond Max. From other manufacturers, what would you say could go up against it?
So TD Max, you could go against probably something like a Taylormade Qi4D, the core head, but the core head with the weights like a little bit further forward. So a head, but a sort of particular setting.
Yeah. Find the cheat code of that head, you can go up against.
Potentially like maybe a GT2 or something like that as well. because they've got some really good lower loft options starting at 8 degrees. It's
a good point.
It's definitely a good option.
Callaway's neck adapter has really been sort of unchanged for like a good few years now as well. But again, you can go down by 1, up by 1, and up by 2. We've all got kind of tour neck adapters as well. We can go the other way. We can go down by 1 and down by 2. So same sort of thing. It's a really, really complete fitting system as a whole that anyone and everyone can get fit into the product. It's good.
Loads of tour presence as well. Callaway,
tons and tons.
Xander, John Ram, two of the biggest names in golf right now.
Boys are quick to change.
Boys are quick to change
because it's good. Yeah, this is it.
Titleist. So Titleist had an amazing 2025. 2026, what do we see from Titleist? What have they got? Laurence?
Very much the same spec. So start with GT1 all the way through 2, 3, 4. A great product line. GT1, that sort of lighter head weight. Again, movable weights, movable sleeve. GT2, great product. Going to fit a lot of golfers into a GT2. It's like their core model, really. The GT3 with a movable weight from heel to toe in the front, a little bit lower launching, lower spinning. It would go up against quite a lot of the LS models. And then your GT4, I think, is a little bit surprising. It's a slightly smaller, compact look at a dress. But I mean, I've got it in the bag at the moment. The reason being, I just find that smaller head shape easier to square up, and some people are finding that as well. But I do think that, you know, having all four, it just opens up that sort of the options available for us as fitters. And again, their range is always complete. They do such a good job at putting product out there.
And even four, you've got the flippable weights. You can make it a little bit more help, but keep the small size. Still not the most forgiving driver on the market, but it doesn't claim to be. No, it's fast. GT3, I think, is going to still have another strong year. Same as 2. 1, who's 1 for?
One's a really interesting driver. So lots of companies will do like a MaxLite or a Fast or something like that, and that's kind of like where like GT1 comes in. So the head itself is like a little bit lighter. That head spins a little bit more. So generally for the golfer who maybe doesn't quite have the power, that golfer doesn't need low spin. That golfer needs launch and a bit of spin to hold that ball up in the air. And that's when GT1 really then comes good. So if I've got a golfer who either isn't quite as fast or potentially maybe is like a junior golfer and isn't quite as strong, that's then when GT1 really comes good.
Its own,
and it's still that like classic Titleist shape. It's not like it's an addition to the line that's a sort of afterthought. It's very much part of the whole thing. I think with the separation that we have between GT2 and GT3, that in previous generation like TSR, all the weight was at the back of the head, versus like now the 2, the weight is at the back of the head, the 3, the weight is at the front of the head. There's just more separation between them. So instead of being a kind of bit of a blurry line that you could go either way, it's more of a shape thing. Now it's very much a spin thing. And it's again a really complete line. Great product.
Definitely.
Loads of tour presence as well. I think every uncontracted player has had or tested
seen them all the time.
GT of some sort.
It's interesting about the split as well, right?
There's
a lot of GT2 players out there, GT3, and I'm not sure, is there a couple of GT4s out there as well in terms of tour players?
Yeah, Ben-An.
Right,
he loves his.
They've got pretty much the whole repertoire put out there on tour at the moment. So it is interesting.
I think so. GT2 comes in that kind of 8 degrees. I think what an interesting kind of head-to-head might be is the Qi4D Core 8 degree versus GT2.
That'd be an interesting
That
one.
would be interesting. Fast and stable. Srixon. What have Srixon got to offer?
Srixon is a really great line. They cleared the line up last year, so it's a 2-year product cycle. We're now into sort of year 2. So we've got ZXi. So normal ZXi, we've got a ZXi Max, and we have an LS. So we'll call it core head ZXi. There's a weight in the heel and the toe. So we've got 10 grams and 4 grams. So all the heads, the sum total's 14 grams that you're moving around in the head. So we can either have it for like a little bit of draw bias or like a little bit of fade bias. loft, like sort of neck adapter can move up and down. It can move up and down by 1.5 degrees either way, but it also has like a flatter lie angle setting as well. So that golfer who maybe loses it like a little bit more to the left hand side, Srixon's then really quite a clever thing. Their Max product, I've really enjoyed fitting that one. Same sort of thing. We've got a fixed 14 gram weight in the back of the head, so it's really quite easy to get that ball up and launching, but it doesn't actually spin that much. So it's not like it's the kind of like Max type, like the kind of Max draw type product that wants to spin a little bit more. This one doesn't. And then the LS head, this is really quite an interesting one. So we've got 10 grams, a 10 gram weight and a 4 gram weight. And you can either have it in, we'll call it the kind of normal launch condition with the 10 gram weight further back, forward and forward, or you want to kind of flip those weights around and make it even less spin, you can put a heavier weight further forward. But again, a really, really complete line. Dark head.
It looks pretty.
Aye.
Very, very clean, isn't it? Sole as well as
really nice. Yeah.
As an LS head, it's one of the more forgiving kind of low spin heads, as it were. We've done really well with it.
I think the head shape as well, it's a little bit squatter than some of the other LSs out there.
Yeah.
So that guy who's a little bit shallower, it definitely could suit those players a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy looking at it. It's a great driver.
Going into Ping.
Ping are going to have an interesting year.
So they had G440.
And it's a sort of continuation off. So 440 Max, LST and SFT, they're a mainstay. They haven't changed.
Who are the
staple?
Who are the three of those for?
So the LS is their sort of low spin head. The Max is their kind of core type head, and the SFT, this is like the draw bias one. SFT straight flight technology. Yeah. So the weight's a little bit more towards the heel in the first place, with like room to have it in like a draw plus position. So if you're that golfer a right-handed golfer who misses to the right-hand side but slicey, SFT is really, really helpful. The LST head, it's quite interesting like what Ping do with this one, in that Ping drivers, everyone says Ping drivers are forgiving. Yeah. I think that's kind of pretty fair.
Yeah, fair comment that.
But the LST head, they don't want to get rid of that forgiveness. No. So the head itself is shorter from front to back, but the weight is also always concentrated at the back. Yeah. So effectively, if you look at a Max head and an LST head, the LST, because it's shorter from front to back, but all the weight's still at the back, it just spins a wee bit less compared to the Max. But there's also a new toy this year. So we've got the K driver. This has been... I
can see your eyes lighting up as you're talking about it.
Just new toys to go and play with. This is my absolute favourite time.
First time they've introduced carbon round into the sole. It's going to be really interesting to get this in more players' hands. But like our initial testing's just been, it's phenomenal. Right, it's still quick, still easy, sounds great. The footprint actually is really good as well. Yeah.
First fitting I did with it was a success. Done, easy. It just went in the middle of the fairway every time.
So
that's not an exaggeration.
middle. Yeah. So like I suppose the sort of heritage line from that one there was the G430 10K head that came out a few years ago, and was really simple to use, but it was a fixed weight in the back of the head. Yeah. What they've then done with having the kind of carbon wrap, they've managed to kind of save weight from the middle, that all of a sudden you now have this, albeit heavier back weight at 32 grams. You can either have it in like a draw position, neutral, or you can have it in fade as well. So we've taken all the best bits or all the best learnings and then put it into 2026, and it's a rocket launcher. Yeah. So you can hit it all over the face. It doesn't seem to matter. So
stable, really stable.
It's not like some of the other kind of high MOI drivers where it might spin a little bit more. Yeah. It's so stable in terms of spin as well. Yeah, and that window of which that ball comes out.
The 430 was very much the same, right? Yeah. That sort of off the face. You usually sometimes expect those higher MOI drivers just pop up and just spin, or maybe balloon on you a little bit. But the Ping had it right last time round in the 430. Now it's very much the same story again. It just pops out, nice window, never really moves too much in terms of spin. It's super consistent off the face.
Very good. And again, tour usage for Ping, lots of it.
It's gone in.
Lots of it. Guys are hitting it. Tyrrell Hatton's using the Max, I believe, You'd think he's one of the straightest drivers kind of on tours. He obviously plays on live, but he is one of the straightest drivers out there, and he loves that thing. And you'd think he might go, because of his speed, he might go into an LS Tech, but he's playing that G440 Max because he likes it. It gives him the right visual, and he's hitting tons of favourites.
Just got to hit the window, right?
Make your life easy.
Cobra Optim, Lawrence, tell us about Cobra.
Yeah, so they've come out with 4 great drivers in this range. So you've got the LS, the X, the Max, and the Max D.
Yeah.
Great range of drivers. For me, it's been interesting testing them because you have that definition between them all through sort of their launch and spin.
Yep.
The LS is definitely a behemoth of keeping spin off that golf ball. It's amazing at what it does. Ultimately, across the line, I've seen loads of great spin and speed control from missed strikes and so on. It's been interesting that actually it's probably one of the straightest drivers I've tested this year across the whole range. It's very, very consistent.
Their new kind of story, they're kind of taking a new play on MOI, is POI. And it's how I'm going to embarrass myself by getting this wrong, but it's how that face twists then off its kind of back and forward axis, because you've got the Y axis along, X axis down, and they've added in the Z axis. Add all those together, and suddenly you've got a 13K driver is what they're saying.
This is a chat. Aye. I think Cobra for the last few years, their line just gets more complete every time there's something new. So I think having their K driver, their K drivers did like really well last year with like DS Adapt.
No.
Same sort of thing. We've had like Future Fit 33. This is now the second year that we've had this. We're all more familiar with like how this works. But being able to like chop and change loft and lie independently from each other.
Yeah.
It's like a fitter's dream. It just makes our life really, really simple.
DS Adapt last year was a phenomenal product.
Yeah.
It just got lost a little bit behind their new hosel setting, where you've got 33
I think
sets.
it was a neck adapter story last year, but this year we then go back to it being a head story rather than just like a neck. So there's lots of different models within this, and they all kind of do what they're designed to go and do. So like the D type driver, like if you want a driver to draw, that driver moves.
What else are you putting that up against?
So with that one there, you could put that against like a Quantum Max D. So both those heads are like a little bit more upright on the lie angle. You could maybe kind of put that a wee bit against like the Taylormade Qi4D Max, again because of that lie angle.
Ping SFT, another good option against it.
But like the Cobra, because we have an upright head with ability to go more upright and a weight that we can then put more into the heel, if we need do not go right bias, we can then put
that in there. It turns it into a proper left machine.
Yeah,
this is it.
Yeah, good. Cobra are going to have a strong 2026.
Cobra are definitely going to have a strong 2026. Yeah.
What about Wilson? What have Wilson got to offer this year? They've got a new, similar to Ping, they're kind of adding to their line. What's Wilson all about?
So they have a Max, they have a DynaPWR Max, a DynaPWR Carbon, and a DynaPWR LS. Yeah. And there's also a new guy.
What's the new guy?
So the new guy is their DynaPWR Plus. So going back to the Max, slightly lighter on head weight, really easy to kind of get the ball up in the air. So you could kind of put that against something like a Titleist GT1 or like a Qi4D like MaxLite product. So easy to get up, just simple to use. When we start getting into like the Carbon, that's then when things start to move. So the Carbon head, we've got a weight at the back and a weight at the front. So if we need less spin, you can move that heavier weight further forward. We certainly kind of found from sort of testing that was a really good mix of having forgiveness and speed, but not wanting to kill you if you missed it.
Yeah, still got a little bit of friendly fire.
A wee bit in there. Yeah, I remember like the LS, a video that we had done last year. The LS in the low spin setting is a proper low spin driver. Yeah, but I think with drivers you have to be like quite careful with how much spin you're trying to take off. So if you have a golfer who's in that already low spin window and then we take too much off, if you hit it with a toe or you catch it like a wee bit high in the face, you could be prone to like that, so like sort of knuckleball fall out the sky shot. Yeah. So we want to keep a certain amount of spin and just keep it sensible so you can actually play golf rather than try and make it into like a rocket launcher on a launch monitor. So the LS head with Wilson, I found that best with the weight actually further back in the head.
Okay.
Almost puts it into the same category as that forgiving low spin driver like the Ping G440 LST.
Yeah.
Like it's not too hard to play.
That's it.
Yeah, I've definitely found that in our fittings. It's been a really good driver.
What would you put the DynaPWR Carbon up against?
So DynaPWR Carbon is going to be pretty similar to kind of like a Taylormade Qi4D. Again, because we've got weights that you can move forward and back and up and down and round and round. There's quite a lot you can do with that head. So there's a lot of dialing that you can do.
Yeah. Very similar to sort of like the Quantum Max Triple Diamond as well. Just not.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You can definitely get that spin down if you need to, but it's not overly aggressive in that way.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely pretty fast off the face at the same time. And like the new Plus head, which is just around the corner, that's then going to be another contender in that G440K product, the Cobra OPTM K product, kind of the Taylormade Qi4D Max product. There's a lot of fighting going on in that space. Everyone's shouting that their product is really, really forgiving and it's really robust in terms of its sort of spin consistency.
Yeah, totally.
So this year in that category, it's definitely going to be a bit of a fight.
It's definitely the story for most manufacturers this season, is this consistency profile that we're all trying to get to. I think we've almost seen the ceiling of speed. What else can they do with drivers? And I think this consistency is where we're going to see main jumps and leaps from the manufacturers.
That's it. So Mizuno now, and it's probably the manufacturer that has the least amount of options in terms of head. But by no means does that mean it's going to struggle this year. I think Mizuno have got a really good product on their hands. Tell us a bit about One and One Select.
So there's a new technology story with a new face. So it's nano alloy technology, which is actually in other Mizuno product. So Mizuno have racket sports, and that's been in tennis rackets. It's been badminton rackets. Anything like sort of high performance carbon that you need to try and make it lighter and stronger. That's where the nano alloy comes from. So having a kind of layer of that over the titanium face, you can make the titanium face a little bit thinner, then you can add that on top. So all of a sudden you've got this structural stability. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how this then stacks up against all these other products. So the Select head is the one that's going to spin like a little bit less. The kind of normal JPX head is going to have that. It's going to be within that kind of like normal spin window.
Like your core model.
Core model.
Like a sort of core type model. Their neck adapter is really good. You can chop and change loft it up and down really easily. So it's definitely going to be a fight this year with driver.
I think everyone's got something in that market that's just going to be good. It's just a case of testing it.
Definitely.
So we're going to do our normal picks. We're going to pick a driver for high handicap, mid handicap, and low handicap. Who wants to take high handicap first?
You could go first this time.
High handicap, I'm going to go Qi4D Max. I think it's, from a stability standpoint, visually, I think it looks really clean, it looks good. A little bit more upright is going to help majority of high handicaps. I don't want to pigeonhole everyone. But I think it's such a stable product that looks good and feels good. It's going to have such a strong year. James?
High handicap, I would say, I'd kind of say the same sort of thing. I think having that weight further back and further forwards, it just has this extra layer that product has never had before. So we then have that thing which is really forgiving, and traditionally that always had like a little bit more spin. So whilst you got forgiveness, you maybe didn't have like the oomph off the face. So this time now, with that weight that you can sort of move front to back, there's this extra layer.
You can almost, the golfer can roll with it a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
The adjustability on that is really good.
High handicap, Lawrence?
You've left me stumped.
I'm going to take Taylormade off the table.
I'm going to go with a Callaway Quantum Max. I think it's with the sleeve and the fact that we have the tall sleeve as well. I think it's just a very versatile product that a player can grow with it. They can get better with it. It's really easy and consistent off the face. It's definitely a big one for me.
It's going to be a tough year.
Really
It's a
well.
battle.
It's going to be a great year, right? It makes our life much easier when you've got everything's good in their own right.
Mid-handicap, James.
Now,
These are obviously generalizations. There's going to be outliers, but this is just us.
I would say that I think Taylormade are going to have a massive year with Qi4D Core model. Having so much adjustability, being able to like split the CG, that's something that I've had a lot of success with. Being able to do things like that, have it be high launch when you need it, have it be low spin when you need it, being able to like dial the neck in, having an additional 8-degree head there as well, or 8 all the way to 12. It just covers like so many. It just kind of covers like so many bases. I think with all these categories, like drivers are a really competitive category now. And LS heads all the way to kind of like Max heads or the sort of super forgiving ones, it's kind of one of these things that anyone can play anything.
Totally.
But it just needs to make sense for what does your delivery look like and what do you need from a ball flight.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm going to go Cobra OPTM. I think it's just a great all-rounder, and the sleeve, done. It'll suit so many guys in that mid-handicap category. Yeah,
it's going to work, isn't it? What am I going to take? Mid-handicap, I'm going to go G440K by Ping.
Nice.
I think, again, that's going to be one of those drivers that every golfer can play. Like most golfers could play, but the G440 Max K, I think, is going to have such a strong year across all categories. I'm going to give that one to the mid-handicappers.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Low handicap, Laurence, you get the first pick on this one. What's going to be the best low handicap driver of 2026?
Especially for the first half of the season, I'm struggling to see past Titleist GT3.
Really?
I think after last year, it was so dominant.
Yep.
For us, it just does exactly what it says on the tin. Right, aesthetically looks great. Yep. You've got the movable weight at the front. You've got just a great all-round driver. I don't think you can see much past it, and it's so dominant in non-contracted tour players' bags and stuff. It's phenomenal.
It's kind of a telltale sign of a very, very good product. James,
it's hard not to say GT3.
I'm going to implore that you say something else.
Well, I'm going to. So 2025, we were all shouting about GT3, or all shouting about Titleist drivers. But I think this year, Quantum Triple Diamond Max, that's put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Nice.
So having like a kind of low air type spin head, but actually like a really forgiving lower spin type head, that's massive. So it'll be really interesting to see how the year pans out with that one. But that's the one that's going to get my vote.
I'm going to go, and you've picked two very good heads there. I'm going to say Qi4D LS. I've always struggled with the LS product, just in terms of consistency. I play GT3 at the moment, but that, say, Qi35 LS, struggled a little bit to get the height on it and the loft I wanted to play. And then when I caught it a little bit low in the face, it kind of did spin up a little bit just because I was mishitting it. Qi4D, I didn't seem to have that issue. When I mishit it, it still stayed really stable. So as in terms of a forgiving, lower spinning, kind of lower handicap driver, I think that's going to be such a good option.
Yeah, really good.
It's going to be a really good year.
We could all pick anything I like. It's going to be a really
There's an argument for everything, right?
Yeah,
there's no bad driver on the shelves nowadays.
No, there isn't. I mean, even that kind of Optim LS, I think I was close between that as well. But I'd have to give it the Qi4D LS. Now, you're going to build something for yourself, and we do. What are you building for your own bag, Laurence?
Oh, it's already in there, right? Titleist GT4, PVD Hulk 6.5.
Nice.
Weapon.
Yeah.
Absolute weapon it is.
So I've got a GT3, and I need to do a bit more testing, but early indication is Qi4D.
Oh.
Like Qi4D, that 8-degree head, same sort of thing for me. I launched the ball to the moon. I don't need, I generally like quite a lot of spin, but I need something that's got like a bit of life about it at the same time. I think that
bit of love.
A wee bit of love, just make life nice and simple. And I think the Qi4D, the core head, like that 8-degree head, that's the one that's got my attention.
I played all of last year. I played GT3 9-degree because it was the driver I could launch and get the right spin window. It looked nice, and there is a driver that's kind of caught my eye this year. Callaway Quantum Triple Diamond Max. Something that still looks the part, but gives me enough stability and a low spin head. It's going to be a good head-to-head between those two. I'm going to stick with the Ventus shaft, but I've got a Ventus Black 5X. I'm going to go head-to-head with those two. Driver's always one of these things. It's always a fight, isn't it? Yeah. I think one of the big things that the golfers should really think of in fitting is, like, what shots are you trying to play? So I think it's quite easy to almost just look at the distance only, as in how far can I get it. But if you play links golf, for example, and you maybe want to try and like hit the ball lower sometimes, have you then got the driver that you can play the shots that you're actually going to play on the golf course?
Like you say, have you got the tools in the toolbox?
Have you got the tools in the toolbox? And like, driver's a kind of funny one because it needs to wear quite a lot of hats. And what I mean by that is, it's the only club in the bag you've really got any expectation of distance. Yeah. It's the one we're actively trying to hit the ball further with all the time. But then you go and play a hole that there's maybe trouble down the right-hand side and out of bounds down the left. And are you trying to burst one on that hole? No, you're not. You just want a fairway. So sometimes, yeah, you need that like chippy driver, fairway finder, user-friendly thing. Yeah. So in fittings, it's really, really important that you have that product that does everything. Yeah. It just can't be a one-trick pony. It needs to be able to tick all the boxes and be playable on the golf course. That's a massive, massive thing.
Yeah, you can't go there to a fitting and just have your driver work at 100%.
No.
Because no one plays golf at 100% for 18 holes, right? We're either knackered and we're dialing it like that way, or like you said, there's a bit of trouble and we're trying to squeeze one out there, right? So I always say to guys, what does a sort of like a 90% swing look like when they go in for the fits and stuff? And because ultimately you want the driver and you need the driver to perform at that speed as well. So it'd be interesting. Thank you, gentlemen. Great conversation. All things drivers 2026 is going to be a fantastic year. Hopefully that's helped you make some decisions. Remember, nothing beats actually testing them. If you want to come into one of our studios, Chesterfield with Lawrence, Edinburgh with James, or Glasgow with myself, get on the website, book in, and we will see you soon.